Happy Earth Day to anyone who's out there in live stream land.
Okay, so I'm going to make you host again.
All right, thank you.
You're welcome. Now you can make me the co-host.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Oh, I saw that nice little heart up there in the corner. So happy Earth Day. You know, here it is. It's April 22nd in York, Pennsylvania. Usually we are well past snow time. And I looked out my door this morning. It was very windy and it was snowing. So I guess they call that the onion snow, the last, hopefully, snow of the season. It's very late this year. There's that adorable baby picture again. I've seen that baby picture show up a number of times. What an adorable child. Hey, Pam. Welcome.
Thanks.
Try any new recipes lately?
Yep, the stuffed mushroom caps.
Yeah. What'd you think?
Loved them. Everybody loved them. It was great. Yeah. I tried the sheet pan chicken with the asparagus, and it was really wet for me. I don't know if I didn't space them out enough, but it was not crispy at all, or like browning. So I don't know what I did.
But one thing you can try with that is put it under the broiler then for the last little bit. But if it is crowded, maybe it did steam up a little bit. And
Okay.
and your oven was up high, it was up to 4, whatever it called, 4,
Yeah.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, maybe it just needed to go a little bit longer.
That's what I wondered. It was really tasty though, so we were going to try it again. Mm-hmm.
Okay, good. Hi, Cassandra.
Hi, Deb. How you doing?
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Sandra. Hi.
Oh, we have Sandra and Cassandra. Okay.
Right.
Hi, Cassandra.
Hi, Sandra.
Have you two not met before?
No.
No.
You're
Another
kidding me.
classes.
You both come to so many of my classes. I can't believe you haven't met before.
Oh, well, now we've met. Nice to meet you, Cassandra.
Sandra,
My daughter's name is Cassandra with the K.
So that you spell it, or you spell it differently, say it the same. Do you say?
Yeah, Cassandra is my daughter. Yeah.
It's K. Her starts with K.
Yeah.
And
Now, where do you live, Sandra?
Las Vegas.
Oh, my sister used to live in Las Vegas. I used to come and visit Vegas all the time, but she moved back to Detroit.
Okay, my daughter lives in Detroit. So you're in Detroit?
Yes.
Okay. My daughter is in Detroit, my oldest.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's in, I think, Taylor.
Oh, okay. I'm downtown Detroit.
Okay, yeah.
All right, well, welcome all of you. Welcome back to Happy Earth Day. Here it is.
Same to you.
22nd Earth Day. So I was just saying before you all arrived, maybe I was speaking to live stream world, I don't know, but I was saying that here in Pennsylvania, we're usually finished with snow by this time of year, but every now and then we'll get an onion snow. It's usually earlier in April. Today I looked out my door and the wind was blowing and it was snowing like crazy. Not for very long. It didn't lay, but it was snowing. Yeah. Just when I thought winter was behind us, but hopefully that's the last one. How is it where you are? Sunny and warm or something else?
It's cold here in Detroit today.
Yeah.
We had snow yesterday.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
My way.
It's nice in Vegas. It's windy, but they're talking about rain Monday. So,
What is the temperature?
I think it's almost 70.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
That'd be nice. I think it's still in the 40s here and very windy. I can hear the wind blowing.
Yeah.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen so we can get started. And there. Can you see my slide?
Yes.
I'm not in my kitchen today. I'm not going to be cooking. So I need a little break from the kitchen. We all need that, right? So I think everyone has been here with me before. And so I can dispense with my introductory slide here a little bit and also with this slide, but just very quickly, you know, we're recording this and you can get that recording and that people are joining us by live stream. So hello to you out there in live stream land. And I invite you to come and join us for a class where you can participate like we all do here in these classes. I think that's one of the greatest things about these sessions. There's lots of platforms out there where you can be one of a, you know, kind of an incognito crowd where you sit and listen and don't really have to say anything and just be in the background. But here, if you want to engage, you can come on screen and have conversation together with the rest of the community. So I think that makes us a little bit different. So I thought we'd do something kind of fun today in the idea of just thinking toward picnic season and how that relates to Earth Day. I was reflecting on, you know, the pandemic and all the time we spent indoors over the winter time and how isolated we felt. And so Earth Day this year felt like something different for me. It felt like a time to really get back out and do some healing in nature and spend some time there being thoughtful about what it is that we do have and what the earth does give to us each and every day. So for some reason, yeah, after the pandemic of the last year and what continues to go on, the Earth Day had additional meaning for me this year. So I wanted to share some of that with you. So I'm curious to know what brought you to Earth Day today. What Earth Day celebration? Why did you come to this session?
To see what interesting recipes you were going to have.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's all about the recipes. So should I skim through the other things?
No.
I brought some other fun things for you, so I'm going to at least give them to you, see what you think, just for
No, I definitely needed something different. Just, yeah, a little trivia, that'd be great. Something, a conversation piece for the dinner time would be great. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Got a little bit of that. That would be fun. And then also just some activities, some things you can do to kind of make a picnic day of it. So whether you do it on Earth Day, which probably isn't going to happen, or do it another time, a different way to think about a picnic maybe. So I wanted to know what your first memories of Earth Day are. Do you remember back to when it kind of got started? Remember what you did in school? Was there anything, boy, this is really tearing at or kind of getting in there to think about what you did?
You know, I was talking to my husband this morning because the news was saying, you know, it was Earth Day. And I was trying to figure out if I remember doing anything back in, you know, when I was in school. But the earliest I can remember is when my kids were in school and they were bringing home, you know, pictures of the earth, you know, that's the furthest I can remember. Other than that, I don't know.
Yeah.
I think we planted trees.
Yeah. Okay. When
At our
was that
school.
been, Pam? Do you remember when you were in school? What years?
Yeah. Gosh, elementary-ish time.
In elementary?
I think so.
Yeah. So you planted trees. I had somebody in class who said that they did a lot of recycling. So they remember collecting cans.
Mm-hmm.
That was a big effort. And I kind of remember that too.
Yeah.
So I like this particular quote. We don't inherit the earth from our ancestors, we borrow it from our children. And I think that just gives us a focus for what this day is all about. The theme for the Earth Day this year is called Restore Our Earth. So a big focus on recycling and being sustainable and treading gently on the earth. So grab a pen and paper if you have one there, just to jot down some answers. I'm going to give you some questions and then we'll go back through the answers to those. And they're pretty hard ones, so don't beat yourself up if you don't know the answers, but I'm curious. Curious to see if anybody can answer these better than I could. Okay, ready for the first one. What year did the first Earth Day take place? And the second was, who was Gaylord Nelson? And the third question is, how many people participated in the first Earth Day? And then this documentary called Earth was released on Earth Day 2009 by whom? And what did the UN officially rename Earth Day in June of 2009? They're not easy questions, are they?
I've got nothing.
Guess what?
Neither did I.
You will have so much to talk about at the dinner table tonight.
Yeah.
So here we go. The very first one was in April 22nd, 1970. So I don't know about you. I was 11 years old. So I wouldn't have necessarily understood all of the context around that, but I would have understood the efforts to do things like recycling. And I do recall some little activities, some activities like that. And then of course, other years had different emphasis. But I'm kind of like you all, where I didn't have a firm memory of all of that. But it continues to be celebrated every year since then. And Gaylord Nelson was the senator from Wisconsin who conceived of it. And you know how it really got started? It was back in the era of the Vietnam War. And there were a lot of protests going on against the Vietnam War. And he saw the energy of the college students at that time. Then there was an oil spill, a major oil spill somewhere. And he was thinking, wow, if we could channel this activism and this enthusiasm from the college students toward our earth and making our earth more sustainable and protecting our earth, that would be tremendous. So it was no accident that they picked April 22nd because it was a good time in the calendar year for college students to become involved. So I thought that was an interesting story. And in fact, 20 million people across the country actually got involved in their local communities and coming out to Earth Day celebrations. And so it was quite a large event, and it just continued to grow from there. And then back in 2009, Disney released a movie called Earth. And that was also the year that the UN officially renamed, well, Earth Day, not Earthy Day, Earth Day to International Mother Earth Day. And this thing that started in the United States became global. So now we've got International Mother Earth Day. So that's just a little bit about Earth Day here in 2021. And so, thinking about Earth and restoring our Earth and just reframing what a picnic could look like that would be mindful of all of that, what kinds of things could you do if you were going to be planning a day out in nature that would culminate in a picnic with really good recipes? What kinds of things might you do while you were out in communing with nature? Or what have you done? Have you gone on a picnic lately? No picnic. We need more picnics in our lives, gals. We definitely do. It's good for us. Getting out in nature is really good for us. So are you asking for some ideas? Are you saying you have nothing? Okay. Well, you can start by working up an appetite, because you can't get to the good stuff until you really start to get hungry for it, right? And one of the things that lots of folks do on Earth Day and other days is pick up trash and pick up plastic in their park. And especially if you've got kids involved, it's a good way to make them more mindful too. They're out in their park playing, or they're walking to the park. Can we pick up trash along the way? Let's take a bag with us. So that's something that would be a good activity en route to the picnic. Another thing that you can really do for Earth Day is think about planting just one native plant in your yard. So native plants are those plants that are native to your particular area. We have a lot of ornamentals that we bring in from all over the world that are beautiful, but unfortunately, did you know they don't really nourish our native species of birds, etc. So one of the things that you can do is go to a site like this, and I'm going to give you links. This is a really new site. It's in its beta form, but it's been spearheaded by a man by the name of Doug Tallamy, and he's a professor at the University of Delaware. And I've had the privilege of seeing him speak, hearing him speak. He is mesmerizing. He excites you about the whole idea of working in tandem with nature. And this site actually helps you to identify native species by your zip code. So if we enter somebody's zip code, somebody want to give me one?
48207.
48207.
Yes.
All right. So you can see that it's in two categories, trees and shrubs and flowers and grasses. And of course you can see that this is in beta. They're still building the photographs here, but you can save your own list. You can go in and take a look at all of these flowers and see exactly what they do for the planet here.
You know, this is a tough one, Deb, because one of our friends is really heavily into this, and all she does is native, but her lawn compared to the neighbors looks like weeds. So they don't like her because it looks like she's ruining the neighborhood, but yet she's being native. So
Yeah.
it's a tough situation.
It is really tough, and it's a paradigm shift. So we go from having these manicured lawns that are often so heavily sprayed to keep the weeds out. We're poisoning ourselves in that respect, and we are poisoning the pollinators. If we don't have no pollinators, no food. It's as simple as that. No pollinators, no food. So yes, and however, I think that there are philosophies around that as well. You can have well-managed natives too. You don't have to make it look like a jungle. You can keep it a little more constrained. So it's just something to think about there. You can still use your landscaping stones and make areas that contain those plants so that it looks really nice. But they're also very beautiful. And what I like about this site is that it gives you all kinds of ideas about the what it feeds and what it attracts. And it's super important. And so this is why I just wanted to call this up because I think this is so important. Was looking for a particular, here we go. This is one thing Doug Tallamy said in his talk. It can take over 6,000 caterpillars to raise one nest of young birds. 6,000. So think about what we're doing when we don't have host plants for these caterpillars, because the birds in an area will only eat the caterpillars of the area. They're very species specific. It's very complex. So anyway, without going into any more of the details, so we do have time for recipes, I just wanted to make you aware of this site that would help you to select natives if you're so inclined, and to read more about Doug Tallamy and about pollinators. It's the only site that allows you to look for those by zip code. So it's worth kind of checking out. And while you're out there in the park, take a nature walk and look more closely. I think that this is something that in our busy world, I certainly fall prey to it all the time. I put my earbuds in, I have my book on, and I'm walking through the park, and I'm not paying attention to what's going on around me. And the more we pay attention, the more we teach children to pay attention, the more we'll want to protect our earth. So look for the plants that you see on your walk and play the game of trying to identify them. So I'll send you this Cornell site that will give you some ideas for how you can identify plants. And it's a good detailed kind of thing that also shares with you apps. Did you know that there are apps out there that you can take pictures of a plant and then it'll help you identify that plant. So this will also give you some other tips. When I scroll all the way down, it gives you some basic ID tips for things you should be looking for. You know, is it a woody or an herbaceous stem? What kind of leaves does it have? Are the leaves, well, shaped differently? Who knew? I became a master gardener, and that's when I became attuned to all of these things. And I realized how, you know, it all just looked the same to me until I started to really look closely, and then started to have some fun understanding what the different plants are. And I have a long way to go. But what I've heard somebody say, many people who identify native plants or weeds, whatever it is that you want to call them, is to just pick one, because it can be overwhelming, and watch it through the season, kind of identify it, see how it changes. And after a while, you come to understand what the differences are. So this is a very good website for giving you some sense of that, and talking to you about the apps that you can use to identify plants. So that's another idea, and fun for kids or grandkids. And then this watching the birds. Does anybody watch birds or feed birds in their yard?
Yeah.
Pam, what do you feed
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, we got some suet. We just, because when the pandemic started, I said, I want birds. So we went out and got a bunch of bird feeders, and we have woodpeckers, cardinals, not just sparrows anymore. So that's kind of fun.
You know what? I did the same exact thing, Pam. I just said to my husband, I want bird feeders. And now I have bird nests, you know, boxes, trying to get bluebirds, but I have sparrows. Anybody else do the bird feeders? They're a kick to watch, and seeing those woodpeckers is really a lot of fun. And then identifying them becomes a thing, because you see things showing up that you don't know about. And so I really like this app. And I'm actually going to show you this. It's the Merlin Bird ID app by Cornell. And I am going to stop sharing my screen, because I'm going to share my phone and just give you an idea of what this app does, if I can get there. So, all right. Wish me luck. Let's hope I get a connection here today. Sometimes the internet does cooperate, sometimes not. Yay, it looks like it's working. Okay, so you can see Merlin. And when I come onto the page, now I can sign up here, and they'll send me emails, and I can go as deeply as I want to. But just a simple example, if I click on Start Bird ID, it asks me for my location. And if I select my area here, I'm just allowing it once. Where did I see the bird? And what day did I see the bird? So I'm going to say today. And then it just asks me, well, how big is the bird? And so if I say, okay, well, if I click on this, it'll say, well, it's robin size. Well, maybe it was a little smaller, between a sparrow and a robin. So I'm going to select that. Okay, well, what color was it? Well, I think it was kind of yellow. And then I click next. And where did I see it? Well, it was eating at my feeder. And it creates a list of the possible birds that this could be. Then I get to say, oh, yeah, well, it didn't look like that, but maybe it looked like, oh, I think it might have been this, the goldfinch. So, yeah. And I just bought some suet to attract Baltimore Orioles, hoping to be able to identify those. So I just wanted to share that with you, because it's a simple, fun app to use as a tool when you're out walking around, or if you're in your yard and you just want to identify birds. I think the pandemic, as Pam was saying, is what kind of got me into greater interest. And I see, Kevin, you have your hand up.
Yes.
Go ahead. I can't hear you.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can.
Yes, sorry to interrupt the class. Brendan is available now. Could you make him co-host?
Oh, sure.
Thank you.
Let's see. Can you see my screen? I'm back to my slide now. Earth Day picnic ideas. No, okay.
No.
There we go. Didn't show up there before. All right, so I need to make somebody co-host here. Okay, there you go. And the very last thing, if you're watching the birds or you're identifying plants, is to maybe photograph those things. And just want to show you that we have a great class on becoming a nature photographer, doing flowers and other close-up of things that you see while you're out on your walk. So Scott's a great photography teacher. He will help you use your camera or your phone to take pictures. So that's another idea for your activities. And then we'll plan a picnic. Now, I just wanted to point this out. I don't think I did it on the last one. This is an example of a plant that I decided to get up close and personal with last year because it pops up all over my garden. Do you ever see this in where you are? Maybe not, because this is, you might see it. It's all over the place. And it is Cardamine hirsuta, or otherwise known as hairy bittercress. And it has little seed pods on the stem, and when they pop, they just go and spread everywhere. But when they're young and tender like this, these plants, when they first start coming out of the ground, you could just pull them right out and throw them in a salad. They're delicious. So you can learn to eat weeds, and that's a benefit. That's actually on the menu. So weeds on the menu. See, you didn't know you were going to learn about that today. Hairy bittercress, free, free, free. Just don't pick any that's been sprayed. So some additional ideas before we get to the recipes. Pick a place where you can be serene, where you are surrounded by nature. And then make it a goal to pack a zero waste picnic lunch. Carry in, carry out. Everything you carry in, you carry out. So bring your reusable cups, plastic cups or whatever. Don't use those styrofoam cups. Don't use those plastic ones that you throw away after a single use. Find dishes that you have at your house that you can bring along that are reusable, plastic or something that's non-breakable. Or if you want to be really fancy, wrap up some breakable dishes that you want to bring along. That's a little risky. But you know, they sell those at yard sales for pennies, so you can always grab yourself a second set. And bring flatware. Roll up your flatware in your cloth napkin and bring it all along. And then when you're finished, wrap up the dirty flatware back up into the dirty napkin and tidy in your picnic basket, bring it home. And then think about using reusable wrap too. So if you're making a sandwich or something, use something other than plastic wrap. Has anyone ever used any kind of a reusable wrap?
I've tried reusable baggies, but I can't get them clean. It was really tough to reuse them.
What were they made from?
A type of plastic. I don't know.
Because I know they have those silicone ones now. They're a little bit expensive, but they make them now to put sandwiches and things in, and they last forever.
Okay.
So I'm expecting that as we ask for more of these things, that we'll get more out there.
Yeah.
Place. But here's a wrap that I really like. I got it in a sample. My daughter got me a subscription to a company that sends out sustainable products, and you get one as a sample, and then you can decide if you like it and you can buy more. But this is beeswax wrap, and it is reusable and it is cleanable. You wipe it down, and the way that it works is when you wrap the item and you place your warm hands on it, it molds to the product, to whatever it is that you're wrapping. So that's how it stays kind of snug. And then you just bring it back, wipe it down, fold it up after it's dry, and reuse it. And it comes in, I think, 3 or 4 different sizes.
How did it work for you? Because that's exactly, okay, and that looks much easier to clean than those closed baggy,
Yeah, I like it. Sometime when I'm in the kitchen for a class, I'll pull that out and show it to you.
Okay.
And lastly, try to eat local. Get something, make it a point to go to your local farmer's market, to your local food shop and get the items for your picnic. I happen to have a local fish market up the street, so I do have shrimp on the menu here because I figure I can walk up the street. So here's what I'm proposing for your menu for your picnic. Grab a bunch of organic grapes, a good baguette, and some really nice cheeses, maybe some hard cheeses. A Parmesan cheese would be really good, or a goat cheese, or a sheep's cheese would be really a very nice hard cheese. You can almost break it and eat it, and it's very French or very Italian. It's just so nice. And you can sneak a bottle of wine if you're not going to a public park and enjoy your appetizer. And it's it's very easy to carry that in and carry it out. And then I have a shrimp curry wrap that you might be interested in. So the shrimp curry wrap is super delicious, very healthy, and you could wrap them easily in those beeswax wraps. Just move on down here. Now, if you don't like curry, you can simply leave the curry out of this dressing and you'd be equally fine. And this has Greek yogurt in it, more Greek yogurt than mayonnaise. So that's a little different from a typical shrimp salad, makes it a little healthier. And what makes it a little more on the Indian flavor is adding a little mango chutney. So you're going to get some sweet flavors in there if you like that. Again, if that doesn't appeal to you, you can eliminate that, or maybe try it on part and see what you think of it. 2 teaspoons of curry powder, lime juice, and kosher salt. So that's your dressing right there. And then 12 ounces of shrimp. This is going to make, how many sandwiches do we have here? 4 wraps. So this is enough for 4 wraps, 12 ounces of large shrimp. And a little bit of cilantro, and then using whole wheat tortillas. You could also use those Syrian flatbreads I've shown in some of the classes that I've had. Whatever kind of flatbread you might like, it would be just as good, maybe even better if you don't prefer whole wheat tortillas. They're not my most favorite things, but I do like all the many different wraps that are out there now, and some I've found I like better. So you're combining all of those first ingredients as a dressing, and you just boil those shrimp until they turn pink. So it doesn't take very long. And then you dump them into ice water so they stop cooking. If they stay hot, they'll get tougher, or if they stay in that water too long, they'll get tough. So they only take about 1.5 minutes. And they've already been peeled. So you're just dousing them in that water for a very short period of time and immediately into ice water. And then you're going to towel them off so they're dry, because you don't want your dressing to be watery. And you just stir in 3/4 of that dressing along with the cilantro into the shrimp. And then you can spread the rest of the dressing on the wrap, and then put the shrimp on the end and roll it up and tuck the ends of the tortilla in as you're rolling, and cut it in half on the diagonal. And then it just wraps up really nicely in that beeswax, or foil if you don't have beeswax would be good. Okay. So what do you think? Do you think that would be a taste you would enjoy, or would you do without the curry? You think you'd try that? What do you think, Sandra?
Yeah, because I like curry, and then I like the mango chutney.
Okay, you do like
that? Yeah, I would try that. Yeah.
How many of you like chutney in general, or use chutney much?
Well, I like it. I used to only have it whenever, when we were being able to have parties or whatnot. But since the pandemic, I've started to use it with, had this other class, and we made like a cheese board. So I had the cheese and the chutney and the crackers. And so that's how I've been starting to eat and try a lot of the different chutneys that I bought and kind of put up for when we can have parties again. So I just kind of started doing that,
Okay.
treating
Hey,
myself.
yeah, yeah, exactly. Hey, I love that. I just had, you must be like reading my mind because Monday I sat down with a friend of mine who's a personal chef and she is also making her own line of chutneys. And she does cheese boards. She's also doing other condiments to go with cheese boards. So look for that coming one of these days, doing cheese boards and the very thing that you're talking about, mixing
Oh,
flavors.
great. Okay, great, great.
That. What do you think? Cassandra's on the phone up there. I was going to ask her what she thought about that recipe. Anybody else want to weigh in on that recipe? Linda, what do you think? You think you'd try it? I can't hear you. We have to get you microphone help. Brandon, is there anything you can do? Linda consistently has problems and she loves to participate. I love when she participates and it's just really hard to get to hear her. So maybe
Yeah,
there's
yeah, sure, Deb. I'll look into it.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, let's look at the next recipe. This is tortellini pasta salad. This is super easy. Do you guys eat tortellini? Have you eaten tortellini? Yeah.
Whenever I was at a party, but
Yeah.
cooking it, no.
Yeah, I don't cook it very often either, but I was thinking what would make an easy thing to serve at a picnic that would be a little substantial. And I made this the other day and liked it a lot. And one of the things that I always try to do is minimize the carb content a little bit. So I found that I could make this and put maybe fewer pieces of pasta in. I didn't need all that much pasta, but at the same time, Pam, when you have a house full of boys who you need to fill up, this pasta can be a good filler upper.
We're having
So-
tortellini tonight, actually.
Are you really?
Yeah.
You already have that trick, that fill them up trick.
Yeah.
So this is beautiful with the different colors in it, and it was very tasty. We ate on it all afternoon because, of course, I test these recipes. So it was we got about a 9-ounce package, give or take. You know how that goes. And then 1 to 2 cups of chopped veggies. So use what you have on hand, but tomatoes, bell peppers, sweet peppers, olives. I used a combination of all of that. I used the cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes. I used different colored bell peppers because that's what I had. And then I used Kalamata olives because I like the taste of those. And in fact, I don't think I had enough to round out to 2 cups. So I pulled the rest of the green olives that I had and I put those in the refrigerator. So good, salad for putting in what you like and what you have on hand. And then a couple of ounces of really good sharp cheddar cheese that you cut into cubes. And I say really a good sharp cheese because I think that makes those other flavors pop because otherwise it's more mild, I think. And then your dressing is extra virgin olive oil, some white vinegar, and then some sort of an Italian seasoning blend. This one calls for Mrs. Dash. Little garlic powder, little salt, ground pepper. If you really want to just go with an easy way to go, of course, you can just use whatever Italian dressing you have on hand. That would work well. And so all you're doing is mixing all of those things together and pouring your dressing in and then letting it go. So if you make it the day before, it's really good for your picnic. So have you ever made something like this? It doesn't seem like it's out there as far. Okay, so it's something that would be new to you in that case. All right, so give that one a try and make sure you invite enough people to go on this picnic. You're going to have a lot of food. And now this one is for low carb lovers. Cauliflower potato salad. Anybody have you ever made cauliflower potato salad? I love it. I love all the things you can do with cauliflower. And this one, I just finished the rest of it last night. It's so tasty. So you're taking a head of cauliflower and cutting it into small florets. Now think bite size. Think about what potato salad bites would be, small pieces of potato. So that's what you want. And then the dressing is made out of mayonnaise, a little bit of cider vinegar, a little Dijon mustard, garlic powder, paprika, sea salt, pepper. And that's the dressing. It's pretty much like a potato salad dressing. And then you're going to also stir into this salad some onions, celery, hard-boiled egg, and chives, just like potato salad. But here's where it's different, or where you might want to take careful attention when you make this. You can make this cauliflower after you've put it into florets on the stove and boil it in a little bit of salt water and then drain it. Or you can do it in the microwave with just a couple of tablespoons of water. This worked perfectly. I did it in the microwave, which I don't often do. And it was exactly this. I microwaved it on high for 5 minutes, stirred it, and cooked it for another 5 minutes. It was done perfectly. Then I drained it. And then this is the part. And this is true with a lot of cauliflower recipes when you're using them for substitute for something else. Dry it in a towel. So I just wrap it in a clean kitchen towel and really get the moisture out of it, because that way you won't have a lot of water coming out from when your dressing is added, and it won't get watered down. And so all you do then is put your dressing on and mix in your other ingredients, and you've got a really good cauliflower potato salad. And low carb, no guilt. It's delicious and good.
Hi, Deb. It's Tatiana. How are you doing? I have a question. When you put cauliflower in the water, then I read it, you lose all the vitamins. What is the better way to cook cauliflower and not to lose the vitamins? Because they all live in the water.
That's an excellent point, Tatiana. And that is exactly why I did the microwave method this time. So in the microwave, you're only putting 2 tablespoons of water. So it's not leaching out into the water. The water's just in there to give it a little bit of moisture to be able to steam. So that would be the way to preserve your vitamins.
Okay. What are you doing with the core? Do you use for your broth, the vegetable broth?
Oh, say that again.
You know, when you take these little flowers, you have a lot of cauliflower left. What are you using for?
Oh, the stems and things. Okay, the stems of the cauliflower. Well, it depends on, you can use it to make a cream of cauliflower soup, or you can add it to other vegetables or vegetable ends like broccoli. You could use the ends of broccoli, the ends of cauliflower, any other vegetables that you have, and cook those. And you could do a pureed soup with those. Using vegetables.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, it's a good idea.
Thank you.
And the other thing here is, though, even though this says the florets, honestly, I used the stems. I used everything in this potato salad, because when you think about it, the stem, when you cut it up, as long as you peel the really hard parts off and you cut off the really fibrous end that you wouldn't use anyway, they kind of look like diced potatoes anyway, right? The stems, you can cut them that way. So you can use the stem in the salad. All right. And now down to the good part, this carrot cake cupcake. Now I wanted to make carrot cake for Easter, and I wanted to do carrot cake with pineapple. And I found 2 recipes that I kind of liked. I couldn't decide which one to go for. The one that I liked the most didn't have any pineapple in it. So I decided I was going to take a flyer on it and add the pineapple anyway. So I modified that recipe and I included the pineapple. This is the recipe as I made it for Easter. I loved the moistness of these carrot cakes. This carrot cake, and I did make it into cupcakes because I was thinking, what do I do? I'm taking all these desserts. What do I do with the leftover? I'm going to have leftover pies and leftover cakes. Cupcakes seems like a good idea. And I did have leftover. Even with the cream cheese dressing on, I was able to wrap those up and put them in the freezer, and I have them in my freezer now, and every so often take one out and have it. And it's a nice, light, small serving cupcake. I didn't use those monster muffin tins. I used the regular size cupcake. So it's all-purpose flour. Now you could use partially whole grain flour here. So we talk about in the healthy desserts class that you can substitute. You could put maybe 3/4 of a cup of whole grain in here if you wanted to. And the same thing with the sugar. This calls for overall a cup of sugar. light granulated brown sugar. I used, because I was making it for my family and I wanted to be conservative, I used half brown sugar and half sugar substitute. Like I like to use the erythritol stevia blend is what I used. And nobody knew. I mean, they tasted wonderful. You couldn't tell the difference. This recipe calls for both baking soda and baking powder. Some of them do not, and I like the way that they turned out with that combination. And then it also calls for, these are the spices, cinnamon and nutmeg. If you don't like nutmeg, leave nutmeg out. Some people don't. And then avocado oil is the oil that I chose for this. And then I did add a half cup of crushed pineapple, undrained. I left the juices in there, and a teaspoon and a half of vanilla, a couple tablespoons of milk, and a cup and a half of grated carrots. And then what I have here is a link to a cream cheese frosting, which is really just cream cheese. Well, I'll come back to that. How's our time? 12:44. Pretty good.
Question, Deb, when you send this out, can you put those little tips on there, how you substituted the flour with the whole grain, how much and whatnot?
Okay, sure.
Okay, thank you.
So this is, I did use muffin papers, and I'm trying to think, it seemed to me that I got more cupcakes. I think it was like this, 14 to 16, because I believe I modified this recipe to reflect what I actually got. And you can fill these up pretty close to the top. You know, sometimes when you do that, they say just halfway. These don't really run over. So I could fill them up pretty high. And so in the mixing bowl, you mix together the dry ingredients, all the dry ingredients. And then in another bowl, you can beat the oil and the sugars together and the pineapple and the vanilla until you get a fluffy, or until you get it fully combined and it's a little bit fluffy. Then you stir in the carrots. So make sure you get all the lumps out of the sugar. That's helpful. Sometimes I get brown sugar lumps in my batter, so I have to be careful to make sure that they're out of there. And then you add the dry ingredients to the wet ingredients. So you want your wet ingredients in a bigger bowl to start, because everything's going to end up in that bigger bowl. And if you want nuts in there, you can put some nuts in there. I did not, because I have family members that have some allergies. And then just bake those for about 16 to 20 minutes. Just check them, because everybody's oven is different. So use your toothpick in the middle. Pam, you know that trick? Toothpick in the middle of your cupcake and comes out clean and it's done.
Oh yeah, I'm a big baker.
Okay, you're a big baker.
Thank you.
Sure.
Can I ask a quick question? My sugar gets very stiff, like the brown sugar. You told us to put something in a bag. I don't remember. Is it like a piece of apple or a bread, in order to keep the brown sugar, soft?
Here you go. I'll show you what I use. See these little guys here?
Mm-hmm.
These are little clay. This is exactly what I have. And I soak it. It's a porous clay or stone of some sort. And I soak it in water. And then I put that in the container with the brown sugar, and it keeps the brown sugar moist.
Wow, and it's you can buy Betsy Beyond. Wonderful.
Yes, you can. Now, periodically, you know, I don't use my brown sugar a lot. So sometimes my little bear dries out. Then I have to get my little bear out and soak him again and put him back in the brown sugar until my brown sugar softens up again. Another thing that you can
For how long?
Put it in the refrigerator.
Oh, how long do you need to soak this bear?
Oh, I would just say, you know, if I'd soak it for a half hour or so. Doesn't take that long. I don't really know an exact timing. It doesn't take a lot of time. But
oh, thank you so much. It's such a great idea. Thank you.
You're welcome. And very last of all, I think the great beverage for the day with a picnic celebrated on Earth Day is sun tea. something made from the power of the sun. It requires no additional energy drain from us. So who remembers making sun tea, and do you still make it now? Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you still
I
make it?
remember, I don't still make it because I started hearing that it wasn't good because of the rays of the sun, but I like it. But I was going to ask that question. Is it okay to do?
I can't imagine why the rays of the sun. I'd have to know more about that. That doesn't. Yes, I think it's fine to do.
Okay,
It would
okay,
be fine to
okay,
do.
okay.
Yeah, the only thing I would think about that is if you left it out too long, but no, I don't see any reason.
I think the only thing I know of is you shouldn't use plastic,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
the sun
Okay,
would get the
Yes.
chemicals. Yeah.
okay, maybe that's what it was. 'Cause,
Yeah.
That's really, really
Yeah.
good. Never plastic for anything that is acid or has tannins in, or anything that might chemically react with the plastic and leach plastic into your product.
Right.
Okay.
So
Well,
There's
good.
nothing
I'm
like
gonna
sun
make-
tea.
Yeah, I'm gonna make some now.
Yeah.
Go back to
Yeah.
No, it's so funny because it's such an easy thing to do, and you just put it out there and there it is. So just thought you might appreciate a reminder on that.
Have you ever tried, will it work if it's overcast? I have not tried it, but we don't get a lot of sun. But will it
Yeah.
work in overcast?
It actually says yes, it will.
Okay.
And really, it isn't all that much about the sun. I don't know how
Okay.
tea and water will leach into the water anyway.
Okay.
Well,
Okay.
maybe the sun, maybe the warmth makes it happen a little faster. So good experiment to try. So Pam, you said you're a big baker.
Yes. Yes. That's a
Your
challenge
eyes
not
lit
to.
up.
What's that?
Your eyes lit up when you said I'm a big baker. So
Yeah.
you enjoy that. Would you enjoy helping us do some baking on one day that here it
Oh
gets?
yeah.
You
Oh
wanna-
yeah, I would love to. Yeah.
Okay. So what's your specialty?
Well, scones and muffins are my go-tos because that's the best for, quick breakfast. And that's my challenge. I was trying to make them healthy, right? So the stevia I'm interested in. I haven't done that yet.
Okay.
And then breads. I'm really big into sourdoughs and sandwich bread. So I'm trying to get that into whole grains too. So anyway.
All right. Well, what do you think, you guys? Should we have Pam come and talk
would
about?
be interested. Yes.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yes, definitely.
Okay, Pam, I will be in touch about that. That would.
Oh, okay.
Do you have a way? Would that be something that you would like to show from your kitchen?
I can certainly. Yeah, I've got my husband. My husband's a computer guru guy. He could set things up pretty well too. So.
Okay. All right. That would be great fun. All right.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay. Yeah.
Oh, so is there anyone else here who has a similar passion for something that would like to do what Pam said she'd just like to do? Or just come on and talk about a particular type of cuisine? Because Linda, I was thinking about you with Creole cooking, and some others who have said that they like different cuisines.
I just like watching.
You just like watching.
I
Sandra.
like watching. Yeah.
That's okay. That's fine. You give me other ideas.
Yeah.
Linda, just type in the chat. How are we going to get Linda helped here?
If anybody knows much about Mediterranean food, I would love to know more about that.
Yeah.
That's a great.
Want
Yeah.
to do that too. So
You know what? Everybody, a lot of people like Chinese food. What about Chinese food?
yes, I think that would be great, Tatiana. And I like that idea. I have that on the list.
And
too.
Greek is healthy. Greek is very healthy. It's
Do you know-
Mediterranean food.
The what? Say that again, Tatiana. The Chinese food or something else?
Greek, like Mediterranean food and Chinese.
Okay. I'll work on that.
Thank you.
I'd like to get some chefs on to talk too, and then some folks who have recipes. We'll have a lot of fun with this. So good ideas, ladies. So now if you know of anybody who has that kind of specialty that maybe wrote a cookbook, wouldn't it be neat to have somebody like that come on and talk about their particular type of food and about their book, and then give us some recipes, and we can make those together. Would you like that? Sandra gave me this idea. She said that she goes to some classes where she does some actual cooking. So what if we did, I'm just brainstorming here, what if we had somebody talk about Mediterranean food, and then we got some recipes and we all came together at a particular time and had our ingredients and we cooked from our kitchens? Would you like something like that? Would you come to something like that?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Okay. All right. Good. Very,
Yes.
very helpful. Tatiana, you'd be cooking with us?
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I like to cook. My husband, he is helping me a lot. I have 2 broken hands and he does chopping for me. Yeah, I like cooking.
Did you say you have 2 broken hands?
Yes,
Oh,
I fell one time, then I fell again, and I had to have surgery, but everything is fine.
oh, wow. Well, that's quite a healing process. Thankfully, you have a husband who is willing to be your hands.
Oh, yeah, I'm very lucky. Yeah, thank you.
Uh-huh. Okay, well, we're at 12:55. This is quite unique for my classes, as you know, which usually run up to the minute. So it's kind of good. And I'm glad we have a chance to chat. Linda, it looks like Brandon says that oh, and I see it might be your computer. Oh, you can talk about gumbo. So maybe we can do a gumbo day. We can all make gumbo. That would be fun. Would you want to do that with me, Linda? And Linda, could you work on the microphone part so that you could actually talk? Okay. Yeah, I know. All right. So we had some fun. Did you, despite the fact that I threw some other things at you, was that okay? Do you have some things for dinner conversation?
Yes, thank you.
Okay. Tomorrow's the Kentucky Derby part. Tomorrow, Friday. Tomorrow's the
There.
Kentucky Derby
Yeah.
part. Are you coming?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Are you wearing your hat? Come on. I mean, nope, I don't care what you bring, but wear a hat. It doesn't have to be fancy. Put a flower
find
on the
something.
baseball hat.
I
This
will
is
find
my
something.
second one. What's that?
I'll find. Oh, I've got the perfect one. You'll see. Yep. I've got it.
Beautiful, just for fun. Come on, Sandra. I know you want to. Okay, all right. I'm excited.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Okay. And we're going to talk about quinoa. I'm going to start a spotlight series on particular ingredients. And so one of the first ones is going to be on quinoa. And then we're going to do others on kind of seasonal ingredients. So I've got one in the works for spinach, asparagus, lettuce, what was the other one? Asparagus, spinach, lettuce, and strawberries. So just focusing on an ingredient. And if you have a particular ingredient you'd like me to investigate further, we'll put that in the spotlight series too. So you can, I'm going to send this in the chat.
Yes, seasonal would be great because I'm now getting deliveries for seasonal organic food. I'm trying to do that. And so I don't know what to do with them. So that would be great.
Yeah.
So send me your ideas of what those produce. I know what they are in my area, but it would be really neat to see what you're getting in your bundle. Like if you get a lot of Swiss chard. When I had a CSA, I got a lot of Swiss chard. I was like, what in the world is this stuff? That was like 10 years ago. And now I know a lot more about Swiss chard.
Okay.
What about eggplant? Is that no?
Oh, I love eggplant.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like it, but it's only so many. I only know a couple things to do with it.
Okay. Well, you know what? I have some great Asian recipes for that.
Okay. Okay.
So I just put in the chat my new email address. Oh, it's supposed to be Deb, not underlined, Deb-the-guide at getsetup.io. That's not an underline, that's a dash. It's a new email address for channeling ideas or ways if you want to contact me. I have some help there that's looking at this and then sort of assimilating what's going on and gathering ideas or saying somebody wants to talk to you about something. So trying to manage that a little bit, but get input from learners so that this does become, or even more so, the kind of platform you want it to be. So welcome all of that anytime. And I'm really glad you came today, and I'm really glad you're coming tomorrow. I wasn't sure if anybody, I didn't know if I'd be at a Kentucky Derby party all by myself or not. So anyway, have a great Earth Day. Get out
Thanks.
there in nature. We'll
You
talk to you
too.
tomorrow.
You too. Have
Bye.
a great one, you guys. Stay safe.
Bye. You too. Bye.
Bye.
Linda, get that microphone. I miss you.